guy's dead. That guy is dead now. He's the guy
Wow.
that's left is a Nazi.
You
So
just killed Kanye?
I didn't do it. He did it,
Oh
I
my,
was,
or Netin did it.
that's crazy.
But it's done.
That's
I
crazy.
wanna pause on that point for a second. Do you think that kind of Nazi? Do you like see him as a Nazi in your head? Do you think of him as a Nazi? He said he was a Nazi yesterday.
He did say, "I am a Nazi." Now what?
A
Now what?
Nazi.
Ari Emanuel.
Yeah, right.
Do I
But do you think of him as he also denied the Holocaust, right? He denied the 6 million, right? That's some like Nick
Yeah,
Fuentes math, right? He
yeah.
like was talking about like how long it takes to bake the cookies and shit, like he did the Holocaust math and he was like, that doesn't add up to me. Does he come off to you like when you think of Kanye? Do you think of him as like as an odious anti-Semite who like is a Holocaust denier and a
At
Nazi?
this point, yeah. I mean, he is without a doubt, you know, a Nazi sympathizer. I think that's pretty hard to argue against, and that would be enough in itself. I don't know if he would be a Nazi apologist, but the only reason I'm not sure about that is because I'm not sure if Kanye thinks the Nazis should apologize.
Mm, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I think that this is like two pronged. One, like Josh, you're saying, do you think he is one, right? And it's like one where like we have this conception that like these guys were like walking around like during the Third Reich, like that's like when you think of a Nazi, you're like, okay, like some dude who lost World War II that was wearing like an SS uniform. But then there's like a very real undercurrent of like current Nazis and people that are Nazis now, because like they love that shit. And then they're like, okay, these guys weren't actually the bad guys, and they were actually really good. And what they stood for was good, and what they did was good, and it was also overblown. At the worst, it was overblown. Like that's like what they say, right? Um, and so I would qualify a person who says all that, yes, as a Nazi. And right now, it's like this weird battle of dissonance between like hearing this guy talk, like knowing like that he can always run his mouth. He's been running his mouth since we were like 9 years old, like next to like Austin Powers. And now it's like that same guy you're asking, do you really think he is that? And so I think what you're running up against, what I often run up against is like the person that I like would see on TV and like hear his music and like conflating him with like kind of like the worst type of human, right? That we kind of have, which is like normally what we would
Prototype for like an evil
yeah,
human.
yeah. So when you ask that question, is he the worst person on or one of the worst people on earth, right? A part of a group that conveys that. And what Will is saying is yes. And so that I'm afraid to say it.